Vivian Chilwana.
I'm Lubika Rawood. For more information on the work that we do and how you can help us to help others, please visit our website www.secondchances.org.za.
In Junior Achievement South Africa, its focus is really to expose youngsters within high school and out of school to entrepreneurial thinking, and ours is focused at high school from grade 10 to 12.
I'm very big on youth empowerment and making a difference and touching lives and impacting the lives of our young people. That's practically what I do with my foundation as well, and ever since I was crowned as Miss SA.
The goal of the magazine is to basically share information that will be able to assist small business owners.
You're listening to The Social Show with Vivian Chilwana
And Lubika Rawood, live on brandlive.co.za.
Welcome to the first ever radio show for Social TV for 2017. Wow, I can't believe it's 2017 already.
I can't believe it. I think I fell asleep and I woke up in 2017. I don't remember 2016 that well.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Not really. You know, when you say it out loud, I feel like it might not happen. So it must always be internalized. It must always be internalized.
I agree with you because I do not know how to commit, especially when it comes to, imagine gymming. Like, the most I'll gym in a year is like 2 days every 6 months. Like, I'm bad.
Exactly. And the pressure comes from saying it out loud and people looking at you sideways, right?
Exactly. So we'll keep it. We'll keep it to ourselves.
There we go.
But it's going to be a great year for... I'm very optimistic this year. And we have a new time slot every day from 9:30 till 10.
Yeah, so hopefully if you're sitting at your office right now and thinking about what am I going to do, you're listening to the show.
Okay, so as tradition, let's get into our news.
Scheduled to kick off on the 7th of February 2017, from the Messina border post in Limpopo, the Riding for SA education campaign coordinated by Salam Media and Salam Foundation will cover a whopping 3,000 kilometers of the South African coast to raise funds and awareness for early education in South Africa. Recreational cyclist Azar Vadi is expected to join be joined by other riders en route, as the call is sent out to communities, businesses and individuals to donate to the Salam Foundation Fund for Education Development Projects in South Africa. Among the identified needs are the building of toilets in schools with pit latrines, the provision of containerized kitchens and libraries, school shoes for learners who cannot afford them, and bicycles to children walking extremely long distances to classes every day. Residents who live near the route are encouraged to join in or come out and support Azar as he passes through their communities. They are also encouraged to forward suggestions of schools where they are aware that they could benefit from this project. Details should be sent to info@salammedia.com. People wishing to participate in the ride for any distance can also email the above said address.
The Spur Foundation recently launched the Full Tummy Fund, which will focus on early childhood development and nutrition for children from disadvantaged communities up to the age of 6. Social TV spoke to Tara van Skalkwyk, who is the manager at Spur Foundation, and she said that by investing in these early years, they aim to help build a stronger educational foundation on which a healthier, more prosperous and better society can be built. Some of the Full Tummy Fund's beneficiaries include the Asher Trust, Ikamvala Bantu, JAM, the Teddy Bear Clinic, and they are currently in the process of adding a few more organizations focusing on ECD. Monies are raised through the sale of a series of collectible puppets. There are 5 Kung Fu Panda hand puppets to collect, and 5 Rand from each puppet sale will be donated to the Full Tummy Fund, with 100% of the funds donated benefiting their beneficiaries.
The Oliver Top Empowerment Awards have declared the 3rd of February as the deadline date for entry acceptance for 2017. The awards, which will be taking place in March this year, are celebrating and showcasing 16 years working within sustainable transformation sector in South Africa. The awards aim to honor and recognize the exceptional contributions that organizations have implemented to help strengthen the national vision. The awards welcome all stakeholders, businesses within public and private sector to enter and to further celebrate their endeavors within transformation. Now, the award category is open for entry this year, include Top Empowerment Fast Growth Black Owned SMME Award, Top Empowered Skill Development Award, Top Empowered SED Award, Top Empowered Enterprise and Supplier Development Award, Top Empowered Diversity Award, Top Empowered Job Creation Award, and Top Empowered Entrepreneur Award, as well as the Lifetime Achievement Award. And that's it from the, Oliver.
Operation Rehab launched in South Africa to provide free medical assistance to disabled persons. The initiative will reportedly empower the beneficiaries, reduce the financial burden on their families, and contribute to Africa's economic growth. Operation Rehab, which was officially established in India 14 years ago by philanthropist Sri Kanubai Taylor, will assist 1,000 disabled people over the next few weeks. Lenasia's Sharad Nasai has been the first beneficiary so far. Last month, he returned to South Africa from India with a new prosthetic leg. The public is urged to get involved through either choosing to partner with a project, refer a person that requires help, or simply making a donation. For more information, visit www.mediarevolution.co.za. And that's our news wrap up for the day.
Have you ever thought about the power of social media? Social media has the power to make your business grow. Grow! Yeah. Why don't you let us manage your social media? Because our business is to see your business grow. Visit us at www.beastownmedia.co.za.
Welcome back to the Social Show. And if you don't know, you are listening to Libika and Viewer speaking to you a little bit more about CSI. Especially, we're looking at 2016 actually, and the highlights of 2016 this year, last year actually, and just sort of looking at how, CSI looked in 2016 and how we hope it's going to look this year.
Yeah, definitely. And you actually just mentioned that the Oliver Awards entries are now open until the 3rd of Feb. And I was actually just thinking about, how important and really great such an event is, because it also encourages more transformation within companies, because a lot of companies have, transformed over the years. But there are still a lot of companies that, still aren't where they need to be regarding transformation. And events like these are also great, so that if you're not, if you don't have certain people in your company, or if you haven't transformed since 1990 whatever, you can be like, hey, I want to be nominated, or I want to be part of the Oliver Empowerment Awards. And it was so much fun last year.
Yeah, we had such a good time. We met some amazing people at the Oliver Empowerment Awards. However, I really would like to see, I know last year we went to a lot of award ceremonies. There were a lot of people getting awards for things, a lot of people being recognized for their great work, and I think that's all good and gravy. But I really hope that this year there's more of an emphasis on the work done instead of the awards being given.
True.
And I'm not saying let's not celebrate the people who are doing great work. I'm just saying let's celebrate you in a way where everybody can see. So instead of like an award show, we'd rather go to the actual site where the change was made and maybe celebrate from that point of view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with me.
No, I actually do. I agree completely. I really do. And I think, we'll see this year as well. We're going to attend, right?
We're going to go to the Oliver Empowerment Awards, I'm sure.
And I'm going to, if Chad Simon is nominated, I just want to say, hey. No, I'm
so,
kidding.
Libika, just talking about, things that talk about 2016. What are your highlights of 2016? I know we have a lot of things that we think went very well, but there are things that we think could have been improved on. So let's just start off with the things that we enjoyed, and then we can move on to...
of course. I really enjoyed... I remember I used to work every public holiday last year at the Apartheid Museum, because they always hosted these debates. There was June 16th, where they got the young people involved, and they spoke about arts and culture on another occasion, and where arts and culture is in South Africa, and if a lot of people or a lot of companies are investing in arts and culture and that kind of thing. So I think it was really great. It was really great for me to cover those stories, because, especially for the Apartheid Museum to be hosting these debates, I think it was so amazing, because a lot of the people that attended were students, and it was very informative, especially when you see how much and we echo this on the show almost every day whenever we do the show, how much money is actually invested in arts and culture.
Yeah.
You know, and that was actually one of the debates that I enjoyed, because John Carney was one of the panelists there, and he, you know, said that a lot of money is not invested in arts and culture enough, and that kind of thing. But I really enjoyed the debates, listening to the panelists, you know, the discussions, and it was just great getting all the students there and hearing, you know, when I interviewed them, listening to them and how they really enjoyed the panel discussions, because you don't find a lot of scholars attending panel discussions. So that was really great.
I love that, because I feel like, you know, apartheid museum is such an archaic sort of symbol of South Africa.
Yeah.
Of just anyone who understands what our history wants to go to apartheid museum. So it's always amazing when you see them sort of using their space differently.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a museum, you have these debates, you have these talks that are really engaging. So I really loved listening and watching you, you know, when you really made the story and spoke to those learners and spoke to those really amazing panelists. I know Eusebius was there chairing most of them, and I think he did an amazing job as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to talk about that. I'm also very impressed actually by the Unilever projects last year. I think they really they dug deep and they found a really big problem, which is sanitation. And then they put all of their stakeholders, all the people that they work with in a hard work. And they said, you know what, if we're saying this is what we're going to be doing, this is what you're going to be doing for the country, let's see it. And I was very blown away by their campaigns, and I tried to attend all of them. Of course, I couldn't go to all of them.
Yeah.
They had a lot of them, but one that stuck out in my mind is definitely Domestos, where, you know, Domestos was alongside a lot of other brands, Lifebuoy and Omo. They were really tackling sanitations in schools, and they were refurbishing, you know, a lot of the toilets and a lot of, you know, even just the education around sanitation, which I found so intriguing and so necessary, because it's one thing to build a really state-of-the-class toilet, but then you've got a student who doesn't know how to use it, and that's a different sort of conversation. And I love the fact that they put those two things together. They gave the education a boost, and they also gave the actual facilities a boost. So I really enjoyed Unilever and what they did. They also did quite a lot for, you know, some schools in Alex. I know they gave away a bus to a school so they can go and play with other schools in terms of advance their sporting, you know, endeavors in the school. I remember they also did a beautiful hand washing campaign, teaching kids how to wash their hands properly with Lifebuoy.
Wow.
They did really amazing stuff, and they really partnered with the people. Like, I know they were partnering with Panyaza Lusufi, the MEC of Education in Gauteng, and a lot of other really big government officials, which I think is important as well. When you have government involved, you have corporate involved, and then you are trying to really fix the community. So Unilever stands out for me.
And I think, you know, sanitation is, you just said it. Sanitation is very important, you know, and there are a lot of times you go to schools, you'd go to schools and you just walk past their bathroom, and, you know, it's not exactly clean, you know. So I think, you know, it's actually just great when organizations or companies go to different schools and actually teach them how to wash their hands properly, because a lot of people don't know that there's a way to wash your hands.
Yes.
You know, it's not just sprinkling it under the water and whatever the case may be. So I think it's really great, because it also kind of I just lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Unilever is up there. Apartheid Museum is up there. Which other really great event did you go to that you thought, you know what, this could be actually not even great event, of an event that you saw and you thought this could be so much better if they did like this? Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, well, there's an event that I attended last year. It was the SAY Book Fest.
Yes.
So this festival was all about you know, empowering young writers.
Yes.
And I feel like there aren't a lot of, yes, there are book clubs, you know, but there aren't a lot of events that I've attended, you know, that preaches, you know, empowering young writers.
Yeah.
And it was so amazing. I learned so much at the event, and I met this girl, Megan Werner, actually, she has a show on Brand Live as well. I think she was like 14 or 15 at the time, and she wrote a book called It's Up to Me. I think that's the name of the book. And she wrote the book when she was very young. You know, her parents obviously, encouraged her to write. And I always talk about my brother because he's my main guy in my life, and I look at him and how creative he is, and he's 11 now, and it's at that age where you actually have to encourage them, to write and to just let their imagination run wild, and there were a lot of young people also at the book fest. So it was just really, really encouraging to see that there's not a lot of writers, and yes, a lot of people say, if you want to become a writer in South Africa, you're not really it's expensive to get your book published, and you might not make money and blah blah blah. A lot of the time it's discouraged. But yeah, I was attending a book festival where I met a lot of young people who were either writing books or have written, and that are still continuing to write motivational books, or fictional books. And it really, really stood out for me. And Carlisle Labuskaghni, she's an award-winning author, and she hosted the book fest. It's an annual event, and what Carlisle is doing is just amazing. I also met he's called the Bookworm. Yes, Pindile. I forgot his surname. So he also has his own organization where he collects books, and he stands at the robots and he'll read books and he'll sell it. So he'll tell you he'll basically sell a book that he's read. So he'll kind of give you a review about the book, and then he'll sell it to you at the robots and that kind of thing. And he was a drug addict, and he started this organization where he collects books as well, and he goes to young people, different schools, and he teaches them. Some of them don't know how to read, and so yeah, it was just really amazing meeting people like that are really trying to encourage reading, in young people. So yeah, that was really one of the greatest events that I've attended. It wasn't well attended. It wasn't huge. There wasn't a lot of media, but it was just great, and I hope a lot of people attended this year as well, because it's really a great event.
Yeah, that's very important. Reading, and more importantly, what you're saying, writing. But another one that I want to really speak about is, and something that I'm really looking forward to this year, is Trilogue. And last year we got the great, we were able to go there and have our own sort of stand and really meet the people at a grassroots level. And I really enjoyed our interviews, and I really enjoyed the speakers and just the overall theme, which was collaboration, right? And I really am looking forward to this year, because it has to be bigger and it has to be better. Definitely. And last year was really amazing, and it'd be great to follow up with all those speakers who were there and all the people who really preached, the message of collaboration, to find out how far are they in those means, to collaborate. MTN Foundation was there, APSA was there, Vodacom was there, Sanlam I think was there. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about Sanlam. But what I loved is the fact that they all came together to sort of really push CSI to the next level. Yeah. The conversations, the debates were amazing. The attendance was great. I think, this year they're really going to do amazing things.
Yeah. It would actually be interesting to find out what their topic or their theme this year will be. But it was also great. I think I remember speaking to the head of CSI for the MTN Foundation, and she, a lot of times you think, obviously MTN is their competition is Vodacom and ATA and all those mobile companies, but then when you speak to them and they're like, you know what, we all came here. I spoke to the person of CSI from Vodacom, and we all just want to collaborate. We aren't, it's not because I'm MTN now, I'm like, oh, don't go to Vodacom, blah, 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 blah. She, collaboration, like we said, was a big part of the Trilogue conference. And it was just great to see MTN there with
and
Vodacom, you know?
And you can't see that anywhere else. You will never see them
No.
together unless they're competing, except at Trilog. And if you don't know what Trilog is, it's one of the biggest CSI conferences in South Africa, and it happens annually. I'm not really sure about the dates, but we'll get them tomorrow.
Yeah.
When they're going to be having their event this year. I don't think they've set it, but this year seems to be very enticing and very exciting. And I want to see how many of those same sponsors and the same stakeholders are coming back and were happy with how Trilog conducted their event. It'd be very interesting to find out from attendees and as well as the people who were there with their stalls, whether or not they would come back, whether it was a fruitful endeavor for them. Yeah, definitely. I think Trilog is one of those to look out for.
Definitely. But you know what? Just to kind of flip the coin a bit here. I remember, I covered the CEO Sleep Out last year, and I was so excited to cover the CEO Sleep Out, and it was just great. It was really, really amazing to see these CEOs getting out of their comfort zone, getting out of their warm beds and just spending a night on the Nelson Mandela Bridge. It was super, super cold. I struggled to speak. That's how cold it was, even though I was wearing thermal vests and that kind of thing. It was really, really cold. And obviously they gave a lot of money towards the cause. But I remember speaking to you about it. Last year there was a there was a homeless guy that was, he entered the CEO Sleep Out, and people didn't know he was homeless until like about 10 o'clock, further into the night. And then people were complaining about him because it was very loud. And then the security guard actually removed him from the event. So the security guard, he was escorted out by the security guard. And then when I spoke to the founder, who's a man from Australia, when I spoke to him and I told him, listen here, this is what happened. This event is all about, the homeless and giving money to the homeless, to them and highlighting the plight of homelessness in SA. But yet you just escorted a homeless guy out. You didn't at least give him a bowl of soup or anything. You just escorted him out. And it was a bit of, like, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to call him back? And it was like, well, you know what? It's a threat, security wise. And I understand that maybe people didn't want him in because, I don't know, you had to register to come in. But still, if the event is about homeless people and you find one homeless guy there without, he really wasn't a threat. I was watching him the whole night. He didn't have a gun. He didn't have nothing. He wasn't a threat. But people were like, no, he's talking too loud, blah, 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 blah. Please remove him. And that was, I don't know if I'm going to cover it this year again, but that was like, no, that was so not on, and it kind of unsettled me a bit. I'm still unsettled by it because it was wrong. So that's kind of, it would have been my highlight because it's an amazing initiative. But after what happened, I'm just like,
Exactly. Like, you really want them to embody the things that they're standing up for, right?
Yeah.
What I would like to see for CEO Sleep Out is a little bit more of I'd like to see more of them pop up. I wouldn't want it to just be in Joburg. I would like to see more, like, I'm sure there's like different kinds of CEO in KZN, different kinds of CEO in Western Cape. It would be nice to see it. I don't know how it works, but it would be nice to see CEOs in every province coming together to help. Because I think when you do it like that, when it's just one, and you're trying to tackle this really huge homelessness issue in South Africa, it's really difficult to really get to all of the different provinces. So what I would like to see is it really monopolizing and getting a little bit bigger and becoming a provincial heavyweight. So we take it and we localize it and we make it for the people in different provinces. I think that would be, that's what I would like to see. But I love CEO Sleep Out. I think they're doing a great job, but I understand what she's saying in terms of the event. I mean, kicking out a homeless person is like really like stabbing yourself on the foot, because what are you actually saying?
What are you? That's true.
Right.
That's true.
I think another really great initiative that I can think of right now is the HDI Shift Your Image and Shift. They were doing this really amazing youth shifting creative TED Talk. They were doing these talks where people could come in for free, young people could come in for free and listen to these amazing people who are leading their whatever they were doing. The leaders, like I know Mo Flava was there,
DJ Zinhle
was there. A lot of amazing people in the industry, in the entertainment industry, and even around. I know Standard Bank was part of it. I know just a lot of really influential people that have done really well in their fields. That's the word I was looking for, in their fields. And what they did is that they tried to really redefine the way in which young people dream and think and want to, the kind of careers they want to get into. Because, a lot of the time we're so staggered by, you have to be either in science or you have to be either in
accounting or something.
We're put into boxes, and young people don't know how to choose something that they love and still make money out of it, and still really be passionate about whatever it is that they want to do. And when you hear someone like Mo Flava, who you can only really hear on radio, you don't really hear him speaking about his life and how he made it. When you can speak to them and touch them and feel them and hear them from their perspective, your dream becomes much larger.
True.
And the way you think becomes much larger. So I really, really enjoyed the HDI, shift your image, shift your creativity, just shift the way you think. It was easy, it was light, it was fun, and it was just a really good boost for the youth, especially during the time, because it was right in the middle of Fees Must Fall.
And I actually attended one of them with you, and just really, I had a blast. And just listening to the speakers, they didn't just get anyone. They really thought out, the people they wanted to, preach basically about brand awareness and that kind of thing. But I think that's the end of our show today. It was shorter than usual, but you know what? Please let us know what your highlights. If you were listening last year, let us know what your highlights of 2016 was on the show. Or if you're a new listener, let us know what your highlights were in general and
within CSI.
Within CSI, of course. And we'd love to mention them on the show as well. But please connect with us. #BrandLive, #SocialShow on Twitter, @Social1TV, and @TV_CSI on Instagram.
Definitely. And we would have loved to speak about more, because we did a lot more than just 4 or 5 events, but we can't. So thank you so much for listening, and we will see you again same time tomorrow.
The Social Show is the only show that gives you updated content on all things CSI.
The show will interrogate and report on the latest initiatives that are supported, developed, and initiated by the public and private sector.
Hosted by myself, Viwe Cholwana,
and me, Lebika Raward,
every week from 4 to 5 p.m. Hear it on brandlive.co.za.
See it on social-tv.co.za.
brandlive.co.za, harnessing the power of talk radio.